The really shocking thing when you go up to Tohoku, the region that was hit, is how little has been done 2 years on. There was a huge clean-up operation after the tsunami. All the debris was pretty much cleared within the first year. But in the last year or so, it's just sort of stood still. There really hasn't been a big restart of rebuilding those communities yet. There are lots of reasons why that is so. They're trying to get every community to reach a consensus on how the rebuilding should take place. But it is now an awful long time since the tsunami, 2 years. You would have expected something to have begun by now.
The reconstruction process has been slow, so how are the residents coping? And 2 years on, Rupert, more than 300,000 Japanese affected by this natural and nuclear disaster are still living in temporary housing.
That's right, Rico, and although, you know, the Japanese government again has done a very good job of providing temporary housing in a very short space of time after the tsunami, a lot of people remain in that temporary housing 2 years on. And they want to go back, they want to start rebuilding their homes. A lot of old people are stuck in that temporary housing, waiting for something to happen. A lot of young people are now just starting to move away, start new lives, look for new jobs elsewhere. And that means ultimately those people, young people with families, probably will never go back, many of them, to those communities which were destroyed in the tsunami.
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe suggesting expanding the spending plan. How is he planning to do this?
Well, this is part of his big plan to spend Japan out of its economic recession, and part of that will also be spent on more infrastructure, more spending on the rebuild. And of course, apart from the 200 billion that you mentioned there for the rebuild after the tsunami, there's another 100 billion US dollars that has to be spent on the cleanup of the Fukushima nuclear plant, which is going to take 40 to 50 years.